Welcome back to the 9th Gym program, and today we're going to be talking about Luxray in VGC and singles competitive play. Now, I actually have two builds for VGC, one for singles, so stay tuned. We have two different ways of playing Luxray, one being the offensive Guts build with Flame Orb so that it can get that Guts boost. If you don't know what the ability Guts does, whenever it's induced with any status, which is Burn in this case, its attack is increased by 50%, which is very good. It also gets rid of the debuff from the being burned, which halves your attack. So you actually just go to 1.5 times instead of half, and then so it's good. Guts is really cool. You see it commonly on things like Conkeldurr and what other Guts? There's other Guts Pokemon. And then we also have Intimidate as a different way of play, being like a defensive, bulky Pokemon that has really good support moves like either Helping Hand, Baby Doll Eyes, Snarl, really good moves, and Intimidate just gives you, that extra damage deafening ability, which is really, really good. If you don't know what Intimidate does, upon entering battle, both opposing Pokemon's attack is lowered one stage. This is really, really good. It's always been super prevalent. It's very strong. Of course, we see a lot of Arcanine being played over Luxray, but Luxray is definitely a Pokemon that you can consider for your team. Anyway, let's look at the Pokemon itself. So electric typing, mono electric typing is actually a pretty good, typing, giving us 1 weakness, 3 resistances, which isn't that bad. And then you can patch up the ground weakness with a flying type Pokemon as well, so you can just switch that out, get an Intimidate immediately, and then switch it out, waste a turn of your opponents or at least one of their attacks. Pretty good stuff. And then we also have pretty solid stats across the board. So as far as general bulk goes, it's not like too good. It's like just pretty average. 80 HP, 79 defense and special defense, which is all like very, very average. Both Intimidate, it makes it pretty good. And then we also have Snarl and Baby Doll Eyes. So we have a lot of ways of lowering that, which is pretty good. Or I guess lowering our opponent's damage output. Anyway. As far as offense goes, attack at 120 is actually pretty solid, especially with Guts boost, and the ability to not really care about getting burned is pretty sweet. And then special attack at 95 is actually really solid as well. This is another Pokemon very similar to Arcanine, and the fact that you can use it as a special attacking support Pokemon with things like one, attack like Volt Switch or Discharge, and then, moves like Snarl and Will-O-Wisp type stuff. I mean, we don't have Will-O-Wisp, but yeah. And then you can use it as a special attacker or an attacker, or you can use it in a bunch of different ways. I just ramble so much there. Anyway, so speed at 70 is not that great. That's one of the big things that Arcanine has over Luxray, is the fact that it's very, very fast and can be used as like a PZ counter because of the fact that it's so fast and outspeeds it in Snarls. So, Luxray definitely has its, reasons why it's not super played, but I still think it's pretty solid in Series 6, so yeah. Let's go ahead and move on past the overview. Let's go ahead and look at some builds. So we have these two builds here. The first one that we're going to talk about is the Guts Flame Orb, and then second is going to be Intimidate Bulky Boy. So first off, Luxray Flame Orb, Guts, I already talked about it. Flame Orb activates, giving you 1.5 times attack, which is good. It also gives you the immunity of the weakness things of it. Your opponent will immediately know what's up because you'll bring out your Luxray, it won't intimidate, and then your opponent's like, oh, okay, cool. So it's Guts. Because Rivalry, its other ability, sucks. We're never going to use it. So, yeah, Flame Orb, Guts. Pretty good. As far as our EV spread, I just went very generic there. 252 attack and 252 HP for special defense, and then Adamant Nature, giving it plus attack. Just doing as much damage as possible. This is a Pokemon you're going to want to, protect turn 1 or, do an attack turn 1, and then have your Flame Orb activate, and then Dynamax and kill everything. And that's kind of the idea here. So as far as our moves go, we have the 1 stab with Wild Charge, and then we have Superpower and Fire Fang, which both give you good secondary effects for Dynamax as well, and also protect, so that we can protect our Max Guard turn 1, activate our Flame Orb, get big with Guts, and then kill everything. You don't have to Dynamax this Pokemon as well. We have a lot of calcs that say, towards certain Pokemon it does a lot of damage even without Max, but it does have some key highlight moves and damage calcs that say you should Dynamax a lot of the time. So it's a very, very strong Pokemon with that. A couple of other options we have. So for an attack, we have Volt Switch as well, which could be good instead of Wild Charge, but that's not for the physical attacking set. We also have Play Rough, Ice Fangs, Psychic Fangs, Crunch, all giving you good secondary moves as well as, or secondary effects, as well as good coverage. So Play Rough is definitely a good option. Ice Fangs, Psychic Fangs for, the Grim Snarl and Lapras, stuff like that. We also have Crunch that can lower defense, which is really solid. A lot of good stuff here, or lower special defense for a partner. Yeah, pretty good stuff. And then we also have Rising Voltage for when you set your terrain. If you think you're going to be able to live through Dynamax, that can be really strong as well. But once again, that's special attacking, so it's not going to be for the Flame Orb set itself. Anyway, yeah, that's about it for that. I mean, you could also run things like T-Wave and Helping Hand, but they're more for the second build, the bulky boy, supportive boy, Luxray, or girl, supportive girl as well. Anyway, so Luxray at Sitrus, Berry, Intimidate. This is our second set. Intimidate is going to, damage deafen a little bit, and then Sitrus Berry. I did want to invest some into speed so that we have faster Snarls, but 70 is just so slow that even if you max its speed, you're not hitting most of the prime Pokemon. You're already hitting things like, Primarina and slow Pokemon with Snarl turn 1, which is really good, but at the same time, it does kind of suck because it's not doing much damage, and you're pretty slow, so you're not hitting things like PZ, the faster threats, the faster special attacking threats in the meta. So that is a little unfortunate, but we do have Baby Doll Eyes for the physical attackers with priority, so that's very good. We also have Volt Switch as well, being able to switch around, so you can Intimidate and then Volt Switch, maybe Intimidate, take an attack, and then Volt Switch into something better. And then you have, -1 threats on your opponent's field with, a guy out, which is really cool. So that's pretty useful. And then we just ran Protect as the last slot. This is, up for grabs. You can change it if you want to. You could even go for like an AV set with another attack, but then you'll have to change out Baby Doll Eyes, and then it's pretty much just like a Snarl machine with Intimidate, which is, it could work, but yeah, for the time being, this is how we're running it. Anyway, Luxray, let's look at the spread. So 252 HP and 196 defense is what we needed to live a Dracozolt high horsepower, so max Quake, which is really good. It's also just a very physically defensive Pokemon with that Intimidate and Baby Doll Eyes. We also have Snarl at our disposal, as well, which is really good. And then 60 special defense investment, which just gives you a lot of a lot of bulk, a little bit more bulk, which is good. And then Calm Nature, giving us more special defense, since the defense I needed for Dracozolt, which is the biggest ground threat, essentially, like in Series 6. So Luxray, gets around pretty well physically against physical Pokemon, but as far as special defense, a little lackluster. So we have Snarl as well, which is really good. That is about it for our two sets. So let's go ahead and talk about the synergetic Pokemon I have listed here and then move on. So first off, I have Primarina. I think Primarina is just really good for it. It covers our ground weakness, which is good. It serves as an alternate Dynamax form if you're playing it on the Flame Orb, but it also just serves really well for Luxray. Intimidate, being able to lower the Dracozolt, which is, arguably Primarina's biggest scary matchup. Being able to Intimidate that, lower it down to where it can't kill Primarina, and then Primarina kills it with a max Starfall. Looking pretty good there. I like that a lot. Next, we have Talonflame. So pretty much what I was saying here is Luxray is not that fast, but with Talonflame's priority Tailwind, that definitely gives you a lot more room to play the game, being fast, which is really good. And also, like I said, having that switch out for its ground weakness into a flying type Pokemon is really solid. So I think if you're looking to use a Luxray team, this is a really good starting core. Just Luxray, Primarina, and Talonflame for Series 6, looking pretty good. So yeah, that is about it for our VGC sets. Let's move on to speed tiers. So as far as speed tiers go, like I said, it's not too impressive. It's 90. It's going to be at 70 base with, uninvested but 31 IVs, giving us 90 base or 90 speed stat, which isn't that great. We're outspeeding a couple of really good Pokemon, things like Lapras, Galarian, Weezing, Sylveon, Conkeldurr, Gastron, Clefairy, and then all the Trick Room Pokemon like Rhyperior, Hatterene, Snorlax, all of those things. But as far as Pokemon that are outspeeding, there are a good bit. And even though the top speed tier Pokemon, things like Dragapult and Cinderace, have been removed from the game for Series 6, we still have a lot of very fast Pokemon. And even not very fast, like mid-speed Pokemon, things like Milotic, Duraludon, Form Change Rotom, all of these mid-speed Pokemon are still outspeeding Luxray, which is pretty unfortunate. So that means definitely, I think Tailwind is really, really strong, putting us at 180, being only really outsped by like Jolteon, You know, even being able to outspeed things like Durant, which is really good. So there's a lot of good options for it, but yeah, it's pretty rough, you know, as far as speed tiers. And once, you know, our Pokemon are back from Series 6, you know, things like Cinderace and Dragapult, we will have more problems to worry about. And, yeah, so, yeah, not the fastest boy, but still not a terrible speed tier to be at. Anyway, let's move on to some damage calcs. So the first 4 are going to be our Flame Orb Guts build with a lot of attack, and then our second 2 are going to be defensive ones for the defensive calc, just the definitive, you know, things that I made the defensive spread for. Anyway, so first off, we have Luxray Max Lightning from Dynamaxed with Flame Orb activated, so, you know, Guts is giving you that boost. So 252 plus attack plus 1 from Guts boost, Max Lightning into a 252 HP for defense Primarina, Dynamaxed Primarina. We are hitting 117 to 137, which is really, really good. So we have a guaranteed OHKO against Primarina, which is arguably the biggest threat in Series 6. Very good calc to have. Next, we have Luxray Superpower into Urshifu, the dark version. Here, we are hitting 121 to 143, which is a guaranteed OHKO. Once again, very good. However, the only bad thing about this matchup is that, you know, Urshifu can break through Protect, so you can't reliably activate Guts turn 1, which is unfortunate. Anyway, next we have Fire Fang from our Guts boosted. This is not even Dynamax into Ferrothorn. Also not Dynamax, but if they Dynamax and you Dynamax, then you're probably killing. I didn't run that calc, but you're probably killing. Anyway, so Fire Fang into 252 HP. It's hitting 101 to 121, which is guaranteed OHKO. Very good stuff there. Next, we have 252 plus attack Guts Luxray Superpower into a Dynamaxed Porygon Z, hitting 88 to 104, which is a 31% chance to OHKO. Not a very high chance, not something I would rely on, but that plus Helping Hand or that plus any like multi-targeting move is probably taking it out, which is really good. However, you know, PZ is doing a lot of damage and actually, I believe, knocking you out if you don't Dynamax. And if you Dynamax, you're not doing enough damage because the Max Knuckle is actually lower power than Superpower. So yeah, Porygon Z, not the greatest matchup. It is a lot of damage you could put down, but yeah, they do a lot of damage to you too. Anyway, next we have 2 defensive calcs here. Storm Drain boosted Gastron at a random spread of 68, but there's a little bit of wiggle room. Into the 252 HP, 60 plus special defense Luxray, hitting 84 to 105 or to 100.5, which is a 6% chance to OHKO. Not really gonna happen. Like, that's something I would rely on not dying to, but still pretty relevant. And also, you can Snarl since you're faster than Gastrodon, which is good. Anyway, next we have -1 from Intimidate. That should be Intimidate. I should have wrote that down, but oh well. Intimidated, Life Orb, Hustle, Dracozolt, Max Quake. Now, this is what I was talking about. It hits 83 to 98.9, which is guaranteed 2-hit KO, which means we guaranteed live that. Eat our Citrus Berry. Could be good. Maybe run a Guava Berry. I was actually thinking maybe like a Pinch Berry would be better. Experiment with that. If you're going to play Luxray, definitely experiment. I think Pinchberry might be the best play there. We'll see, though. Anyway, that is going to be it for damage calcs. Let's talk about single spotlight real quick before I end the video. So as far as single spotlight goes, we ran the Flame Orb Guts as well. I think it's just the best way to play Luxray in that you can go for an Intimidate, you know, supportive set, but I just think this is better. We gave it Agility, which is really cool for this Pokemon. Being able to go +2 speed, doubling your speed right off the bat, you know, set up on your opponent's face, and now you're a fast Flame Orb Guts user Pokemon, which is really cool. You Agility instead of Protect, bring in this Pokemon against something your opponent's going to switch out, and then you Agility, activates your Flame Orb Guts at the end of the turn, and then boom, you're doing a lot of damage, which is really cool. Wild Charge, Facade, Crunch, 2 different coverage moves there, Facade and Crunch. Facade does more damage because of Flame Orb boost, and then Wild Charge just being a really good stab move. Really good stuff. I just went for attack and speed here because after an Agility, you want to invest into speed. Makes it insanely fast. Luxray can be a really, really big problem if your opponent doesn't deal with it, and yeah, it's pretty good. Anyway, that is going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe. You know, join the Discord, follow me on Twitter, support the Patreon. All those links will be in the description below. In sum up, I think Luxray is a pretty good Pokemon in both VGC and singles. You know, obviously in VGC there are usually going to be better Pokemon, you know, faster, things that do the same job, but nothing really does the same as Flame Orb Guts. Here, I mean, obviously Conkeldurr does, but it's slower, like much slower, and it, you know, it's a completely different Pokemon. So, yeah, I think Luxray is definitely worth trying. So if you do it. Anyway, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow the socials, do all that stuff. Have a great week. Starting off strong. Goodbye.